Hello. Tonight it's a Saturday night. Not really a small town Saturday night though, but I'm going to discuss what I think are underrated country singers of yesteryear. Now, country music was the first genre of music I remember being familiar with, but I was only 8 and a half, so back then I didn't even know who Harrison Ford was, so I only knew a small handful like Garth Brooks, who I thought we think is like the king of country with not only well, Friends in Low Places is just one song. It's not one of my favorite, but like Standing Outside the Fire, We Shall Be Free, The River, Unanswered Prayers, Do What You Gotta Do, The Change, Fit for a King, New Way to Fly, Wolves. He's just wrote a lot of really clever artsy, spiritual songs, and really wrote deep songs with good analogies. But you know about him, Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Reba, Patty Loveless, Clint Black, and soon I knew Tracy Bird and Alabama, and that's all I remember back then. When I was in my late teens, I was a full-on fan of mostly older country music from the 90s back to the late 70s, but also some of the modern stuff. And I'm going to discuss who I think are some. I got, I got quite a few people on this list. And, dang it, I can't even make out what that one says. Okay, yeah. Also, I'm just going to show you my biological papa gave me all his country CDs in his case after the divorce when I was 16. See? And I'm going to show you some really little known country singers and maybe underappreciated songs in there too. And it's in these cases. Some of these in these two cases are country music, but most of them aren't. But anyway, some still are. And now I'll start out with Restless Heart. They were mostly in the 80s, and I think they had kind of a feel-good, tranquil sound to them that sounded like pop, 80s pop more than country. Songs like Back to the Heartbreak Kid, doo-doo, first the fire, then the rain, I'll let the trouble ease. And I don't know that singer's name, but I think he sure had a nice kind of soulful voice. And then there was other tranquil songs, almost mesmerizing, like The Bluest Eyes in Texas and the kind of up-tempo Big Dreams in a Small Town. They just sounded quite good together, I think. And in the early 90s, one of maybe their most well-known one is When She Cries, that had such a engaging and beat and singing with where you could really feel like get into the sentimental beat and feel some strong but relaxing feelings associated with the music, and just engaging and it had a soft, engaging beat to it, and the serious tone we like to that we enjoy in songs. And then on that same album, there was a really jazzy "Tell Me What You Dream at Night when you're sleeping. And until all the mountains are valleys and every ocean is dry, my love, I'll Still Be Loving You is another good, really mellow one. And there was kind of a strange offbeat one with a called Dancy's Dreams. You might know that, you may not. And here I got their greatest hits. This is from 1998, but I got it about 10 years later. Yeah, I might have said they sounded like 80s pop rather than country music. Mostly they were in the 80s. And next up is Hal Ketchum's Small Town Saturday Night. Such a good, smooth voice. He sounded like a rocker more than a country singer from New York. Maybe had some Eric Clapton sound to him. There's an Elvis movie on the marquee sign. We've all seen at least 3. Such a good song that kind of gives you some relaxed, lighthearted joy, and the ding, 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 nice bass line's really good. Small town Saturday night, it's a small town, and Mama knows the highway by heart. She can see the rain before it starts, and that percussion heavy hearts are gonna roll. Or bass heavy rather. And that's what I get for losing you. Kinda looks like Neil Diamond, I think. Sadly, we lost him just a few years ago, I think. This gal right here, Patti Loveless. One of the early sounds I remember from songs like laughing if I were a rich girl, wouldn't be the same. I'd buy me a Cadillac and then I'd change my name. I don't get no satisfaction. Just that strong, fun beat or sort of music like that. So I'm looking for a CD, and one of the most fun, I think the most fun of her songs is I Try to Think About Elvis, Memphis. If you're from the Black Lagoon, I try to think about high heels, big deals. Every time I think I might, I just can't concentrate. You're all I think about these days. I have that CD with me right here. Yeah, her sound and her style, the end of the big tearjerker, How Can I Help You to Say Goodbye? But I think what was a lot of fun was like, sounded like a good electric guitar and a kind of upbeat, fun song about someone's boyfriend who was being dishonest to her, and she just straight up wrote it down in a red jacket line. She drew a broken heart and put her name inside. That's fun. That could have been a dance song, I think. Now, he was married to a country singer named Lori Morgan of Except for Monday and I Didn't Know My Own Strength. Sammy Kershaw, that's his greatest of 20th century masters. And boy, he just had like a voice like George Jones crossed with Travis Tritt. Pretty good, nice, rich voice there that you wouldn't mind listening to for a while on the road. Well, I ain't Burt Reynolds and I ain't Tom Selleck. I got bills in my pocket and my car's a no relic. I get surely paid, but I got a big smile. 'Cause my little baby loves me Cadillac style. He bears a more than a passing resemblance to the actor Christian Slater, and a really good, fun, slightly up-tempo melody was Queen of My Double Wide Trailer with pretty smooth, sweet sounding music. And he did National Woman Workers Holiday and a remake of Third Rate Romance. But She Don't Know She's Beautiful was his biggest hit. Yeah, he should have been more popular than he was, I think. And here's this guy right here, Clay Walker. And I got his greatest hits, which was from 1998, but I bought it in 2006. Where is it? Give me a break. Where'd it go? Yeah, Clay Walker's greatest hits. And I think he's got a nice, slightly twangy voice. Nice, kind of slightly twangy drawl. And I think just a kind of up-tempo song, not just like every single beat you hear is just like brings out a kind of strong spirited joy and sentimentality about, especially about a time gone by. And I think it's a love song with I think drums and electric guitar. The whole music brings just a really strong feeling of sentimentality that makes you cry. It's What's It to You. And another one that's almost equally poignant is Wise Live Until I Die. And he does another Wise kind of poetic one from his first album. These were all from his first album in 1993. That was gonna do silent dream living with my eyes wide open, or gonna do my dreaming with my eyes wide open. I'll start looking back with my eyes closed. We could do some living or spend our whole life open, but in the end you're stuck with the one you choose. I'll do my living with my eyes wide open. And I think the fun, lighthearted up-tempo, if I could make a living out of loving you, I'd be a millionaire in a week or two. I've been doing what I love and loving what I do. I think most of the songs have a definite air of sentimentality to them. This Woman and This Man was another pretty song from that album, and the electric guitar, pretty silly, ironic. Only on days that end in Y. And he did another good one in 99 or 2000 called The Chain of Love. And in 2009, he came back after a while, and the song might have not been that great, but his voice and singing made it a good song. It's She Won't Be Lonely Long. Heaven help the fool who did her wrong. She's too far gone. He should have thought of that before he left her all alone. Clay Walker, I saw him perform at Issaquah Casino in 2012. And a guy with another smooth, mellow voice who kind of has a resemblance to Toby Keith, I think. You might recognize the songs, but he didn't seem He doesn't seem like he got that much attention here. That is Leroy Parnell. You know, back in 2007, I had to go online to find this greatest hits collection from 1999. He's that hard to find in stores. And he might be known right away from songs like, "What kind of fool do you think I am? I ain't falling for you all over again." He just has a voice you can really, where you can really get into his music, I think. And he did, like a kind of up-tempo, light-hearted love songs like "You're My Heart," like "Heart's Desire" and "Tender Moment." And I think maybe one of the top 5 most poignant and worthwhile, best written songs in country music is "On the Road" from 1993. On the road where the night is black, on the road where you don't look back, there's a white line in the distance. Where it's going, nobody knows. If there's anything you find, just the expression in music and guitar and the symbolism about the great open road. It's a real poignant reflection on life, I think. And then he did a really fun party song, "If the House is Rockin'." And I think known in the late 80s and 90s he's got whoever the lead singer is. You know, in country music, you don't know the lead singers of bands like you do in pop and rock, like, you know, John Paul, Ringo and George, or Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. But Shenandoah, I think, was an underappreciated one. Whoever that singer was had a good, rich voice, like kind of like a higher sounding Travis Tritt. And their kind of their ambience they bring with their music is really melodious and has some good heart into it, and even some pretty laid back ballads, but really good ballads like "The Moon Over Georgia." And my favorite one to listen to is "2 Dozen Roses." Next to you, next to me, and "Somewhere in the Vicinity of the Heart." Just to think a well-performed number from 1994. And "Sunday in the South" is a pretty little ballad. "It's Hard to Live Up to the Rock." They just wrote pretty music, I think. And maybe my favorite of the female vocalists, really underappreciated. She just, wherever she is, let me find her here. He just made some beautiful music with really vivid and sometimes poignant imagery. She was an artist, I think, not just when it came to singing. That is Mary Chapin right here, Carpenter. And this is her 1994 album, "Stones in the Road." That's a pretty kind of poetry-like number about mankind and how we've looked after one another and the social issues going on as a society and how it's evolved and changed the same throughout the ages. "The Stones in the Road." It's got lovely piano and singing, and it's about all kinds of social issues and the way we're being raised and caring for a fellow man on the streets. And she's, yeah, I got the Essential Mary Chapin Carpenter. It was one of the CDs I used to listen to the most. She started in like 1989, and her heyday was probably the 90s. Really up-tempo groove and "Shut Up and Kiss Me" it was the first one I know. She's been compared, I think, as the female Joe Diffie with some of the fun and silly, lighthearted songs she did like that. And "I Feel Lucky" and "Down at the Twist and Shout." It's got that really swinging Cajun beat to it. And I think the best one, just the really cheerful, upbeat, uplifting, fun little song with a pretty nice singing too is "I Take My Chances." It's one of the most feel-good songs you can relax to. I take my chances, I pays my dollar and I place my bet. I take my chances, yeah, I don't cling to remorse or regret. It starts out, "I took a walk in the rain one day on the wrong side of the tracks. I stood on the rail just till I saw that train, just to see how my heart would react. Now some people say that you shouldn't have..." I don't want to take up all your time. And also, she did some really pretty songs like "Haley Came to Jackson." And "Quitting Time" was kind of a quick kind of song of feeling like she was losing hope, but really engaging beat and harmony to it, from 1989. And "The Hard Way" was another one of those. Had some electric guitar and added a good ambience of feeling to it. And "Passionate Kisses," Mary Chapin Carpenter, definitely underrated. Now let's take a look at my collection of CDs. Ugh. And I'll show you really little known country artists from the 90s. This one is "Smokin' Armadillos." This is from early in 1995, and I think they sang it pretty good. Fun song with an edge there. "I'm a cowboy. Well, I was riding down the road on my quarter horse, and I spent no doggies in his red them horse. Got spurs on my feet and a rope in my hand. Got a pistol on my side. I'm the quickest, and I'm a cowboy." Sounded like a pretty brash, tough guy in that song. And there's a radio cut and a dance cut. And I did one called "My Girlfriend Might." "I wouldn't hit you, I ain't that way, but I've done all that I'm gonna say. So you better make tracks, you better get out of sight, 'cause I wouldn't hit you, but my girlfriend might." And there's only 6 songs on the CD. And I only know there was 2 or 3 other CDs they made. And when I first heard that song, I think it was when the CD came out, and I would have guessed the song was like from the 70s. But little did I know it was brand new at the time. Okay. How about Darren Norwood? I bet you've never heard of him. He's sang a pretty catchy tune here called "Between the Stones and Jones." Tell me if you recognize it. "I met her at the jukebox. She was playing the Rolling Stones. She said, 'Honky Tonk Woman,' now that's my favorite song. Well, I dropped in a quarter and I played the races on. Well, we fell somewhere between the Stones and Jones." The chorus: "Somewhere between big lips and a no-show, country and rock and roll, we found a little common ground we could dance on. Somewhere between a stew-step and a stagger, the possum and Jagger, we fell somewhere between the Stones and Jones." But his most popular song might be "I'm Ready, Willing, and Able." If you need a shoulder, you can lean on. You need a hand that fits like a glove. If you need a heart, then hold on steady. I'm ready, willing, able to love you. This album was from 1995, and the only one I think he did was the one a year before then. He did a pretty soft up tempo one called I'm Gonna Break the Radio. Goes, I hear it in the street, I hear it in the car. It's on every button that I push so far. I can't turn it off, I can't walk away. The next time I hear that song play, I'm gonna do what I should have done long ago. Oh, I'm gonna break the radio. You hear Brother Phelps, their opening track is Any Way the Wind Blows. Some like this, some like that, some don't know where it's at. And one of those guys, I think it's the guy in the yellow, was a member of the Kentucky Headhunters. And one of the guys, two of them actually, that I think are underrated are in here. There's a Colin Ray. If you're a country fan from the 90s, you might have heard of him, but I think he's pretty underrated. You know, I thought he kind of looked like John Ritter in some pictures. I got his 16 biggest hits. He just has such a good voice. It seems more like a rock and roll than country. In fact, my mom agrees that he's more pop. He did a really beautiful tearjerker, Love Me. And such a good up-tempo, feel-good song. That's when I knew you were my kind of girl. But I don't think anything's more feel-good, more of a fun, feel-good song that makes you want to go out on the sidewalk in the sunshine like I did when I was about 18, about 10 years after the song came out. When I think about you, when I see actress on the movie screen, plays Lolita in some old man's dream. It doesn't matter who she is, I think about you. 8 years old, big blue eyes and a heart of gold. When I look at this world, I think about you. I'm not completely sure what the song's about, but it does play on some social issues like abuse. But such a good song anyway. And Little Rock is a really good kind of power ballad where he really pours out emotion in there into a great song. And who can forget the soft ballad, One Boy, One Girl. Now, this blonde guy that might have been... I had an album I bought called Big Country when I was 18, and it said that he was one of the most successful but underappreciated country singers. It's a blonde guy that kind of resembled Kiefer Sutherland, I think, called Steve Wariner. He had also a pretty good voice, like he was just naturally made to sing. But it was it wasn't like a real strong, like a overbearing voice, or like a real powerful voice. He seems more like he was pop than country music. He did songs like Some Fools Never Learn and Two Teardrops, Where Did I Go Wrong and He Go Right, and Holes in the Floor of Heaven, and I'm Already Taken. Yeah, I think he was an underappreciated dude, alright. Underappreciated fella. And if you haven't told, I like really traditional country too, but I also like the country maybe even more that crosses with pop and light rock. I seem to be talking about it a lot. No, I think one of the underrated country bands in the '90s is in here. Black Hawk. It's another night where you been midnight. It's a lot quiet as a Mack truck. Lots of luck thinking up an alibi. I think you just had a soulful pop sound to him, but music that sounded like country and western was Black Hawk. And I think maybe their signature song was, I think, a pretty song that dealt with like definitely nature and art and good analogies. The song probably takes you to the outdoors up to a mountain. It's called That's Just About Right, which came on the air late in 1993. My old friend lives up in the mountains. He flew up there to paint the world. It goes the chorus. Your blue might be red. Your less might be more. Your window to the world might be your own front door. And your shiniest day might come in the middle of the night. That's just about right. It just has some smooth, good harmony with guitar in there. Songs, and it's no more or less good than in songs like That's Every Once in a While. And every once in a while she calls my name out loud, and Goodbye Says It All, which I was singing at the beginning. And that music comes together equally well in a song from 1995, I'm Not Strong Enough to Say No, and the lighthearted, fun dance song. There you have it. There, I've done it. There, I've said it. There you have it. I don't regret it. I'll give you my love in a minute. If you want it, come and get it. There, I've done it. There, I said it. There you have it. And this guy with an appealing baritone voice who seems to just pour out his feelings with every note, I think was a Ty Herndon. His first big hit was early in 1995 with and he does all that in that song that seems to have an uplifting, feel-good melody with a good amount of feeling in it. Is what mattered most. Her eyes are blue, her hair was long. In '64, she was born in Baton Rouge. Her favorite song was In My Life. And then that chorus always ends with, but I paid no attention to what mattered most. And then the pretty heavy up, dramatic up-tempo, heavy feeling, Living in a Moment, and one I like to listen to at night a lot. It bring a sort of a passion for the night kind of feeling, and it's easy to be strong, I've done it for so long, but this time I have to remember, this time to get what I want, I have to surrender. Then he later did other nice songs like The Hands of a Working Man and A Man Holding On to a Woman Letting Go. Have I heard any, guys? And then Sawyer Brown, that seems like a rock group, and it seems like you can always imagine their tour bus or their truck, because it seems like one of their signature songs is a remake of 6 Days on the Road. Well, I pulled out Pittsburgh, rolling down the eastern seaboard. My route looks too slow. Oh, but that don't mean she's slow. I could have a lot of women, but I'm not like some other guys. I could find one to hold me tight. But there's a lot of engaging and a lot of fun, and could really just bring a lot of, up-tempo joy to you when you listen to them, when I do. Well, some songs, and some of the really soft, pretty songs like I know this night won't last forever. And I know something's gonna mend just fine. I need some hope for a bright tomorrow. I brought their greatest hits live in 2006, which is from 2007, and I don't know his name, but he's got such a good baritone voice with kind of a southern drawl to it, but also kind of a more of a big city pop feel to him too. They don't seem like purely country. They seem like they can fall into rock and pop and several different genres. And one of their most recognizable is a really up-tempo, lively, I thank the bank for the money, thank God for you, and oh, it's not too slow, walk too fast, we're high on life and we're low on gas. Trying to make the way things are, the way things used to be, the boys and me. And the first I remember is The Race Is On, which was originally by George Jones. I think they started in the 80s, like the mid 80s, and 1985 was the toe damping, fun, feel good step, that step. You got step, that step. Talk that talk, shake that thing, or walk that walk, shake that thing, and honey, talk that talk. And they had a tranquil, really touching songs, and poignant songs that can just touch on life and people's feelings and experiences so powerful that nothing seems impossible to get over. Like there's the dirt road and like Cafe Down on the Corner, which looks at the hardships and lives of the kind of the blue collar people. 'Cause I walk that walk with my old man, boy, I've been in your shoes. When I understand just what you're going through. The Walk, really pretty song, and a really fun and up-tempo and poignant tearjerker at the same time as 800-Pound Jesus. It's about a guy who just has had the worst of luck and lost his girlfriend and his job, and he even tried to buy the farm, but the statue of Jesus caught him in his arm and saved his life, and he thought he'd pay him back by getting him some ceramic sheep and putting decorations around him. He's an 800-pound Jesus, standing taller than a tree. He's an 800-pound Jesus, a bigger man than you or me. That one came out around 88 or 89, as well as the really, really good upbeat, up-tempo Drive Me Wild. Yeah, they were really good. And I think they were underappreciated. And also, don't forget, Some Girls Do. Oh, I ain't white first class, but I ain't white trash. Wild and a little crazy too. Some girls don't like boys like me. Ah, but some girls do. And here's a real George Strait sound-alike guy. Is I'll tell you, but not till I find. Yeah, Joe Nichols. When I first heard him, I thought he was. I used to confuse him with George Strait with the kind of giddy, silly songs like that sound naughty, like Tequila. That one, Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off. That's actually about his grandma, not a girlfriend or wife. And he came to the scene in 2002. And his early hit was The Impossible, which was a really soft, poignant ballad about how anything is possible and you shouldn't give up. And then there was a really lively, feel-good song where the singing and the whole ambience is just makes you feel so good and so lively. I mean, It's The Shape I'm In. I got a number in a napkin, a pounding in my head. Takes everything I've got to claw out of bed. I lost a love a woman. Freedom caught me on the chin, but I'm doing alright for the shape I'm in. Sun came up again this morning. Got a call from a long lost friend. Okay, I won't do too much singing. And then he also did a really pretty I'll Wait for You from 2005, and he did other pretty good songs like Believers in 2009. Believers, I got a little more faith than the world has doubt. And Sonny and 75. And in recent years he did It's a Good Day for Living. He was, kind of traditional, kind of hickish like George Strait. But sounds enough like George Strait. I thought that I enjoyed him. And last but not least is Billy Currington, I think, who bore a passing resemblance to Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks. I think he's got an engaging baritone voice that seems like it would fit in pop and even rock music pretty well. It started with the uber catchy I Got a Feeling, My Head's a Reelin' in 2003, and Must Be Doing Something Right in 2005. And the first one I remember is Baby, baby, don't you say you're leaving, why don't you stay a little bit longer? And a really pretty bittersweet one called People Are Crazy, about a guy who meets this older gentleman in a bar, and they talk about basically share their entire life and ponder all kinds of important and spiritual things. And then at the end of the song, it turns out he died and he was a millionaire and he gave him everything. And he also did fun songs like the jazz sounding Love Done Gone, and pretty twangy and pretty engaging though. I'm pretty good at drinking beer. And he did a duet with Shania Twain, maybe in the late 2000s. I'm having a party. Yeah, he seemed to be a pretty good singer that wasn't as successful as he should have been. And also, you know what bugged me is that in the 90s, it seems like country singers got greatest hits collections relatively soon. I mean, Toby Keith first hit the airwaves early in 1993, and then 5.5 years later was Greatest Hits 1, and then Greatest Hits 2 6 years later. But like Brad Paisley started early in 1999, but his his hits collection didn't come out for almost 12 years, and only one hits collection ever came out. And this Billy Currington guy never had a greatest hits collection. And Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean, it doesn't seem like they ever got a greatest hits collection. Thanks for listening to me. I hope you like and subscribe. Thanks. Have a good evening.